Time, YouTube celebrities Mr. Beast and Mark Robber are launching a campaign to raise $30 million with the goal of removing 30 million pounds of trash from the world's oceans, rivers, beaches, and seas. It's called Team Seas. It's a follow-up to the Team Trees thing that they did. That raised more than $20 million and planted 20 million trees. A ton of YouTubers with way more followers than the three of us are joining in, but we wanted to do our part. You'll see there's a donate button on this video. All of the money will go directly to two different nonprofit groups, the Ocean Conservancy and the Ocean Cleanup. And today on Dumb Money, to kick off the Team Seas movement, we've done our homework and we have put together our three biggest clean ocean stock trades. We are Dumb Money.
Three friends who turned $30,000 into $30 million using nothing more than Twitter and a zero commission trading account.
The suits that work on Wall Street, they call those people the smart money. That's not us.
Our goal is to help level the playing field for everyday investors.
We are Dumb Money.
Hey there, Dave here along with Chris and Jordan. We are Dumb Money. Welcome to Dumb Money Live. It is my job to remind you to smash the like button. That helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. And take a second, do that. Have you guys done that?
Oh, I did it. Yeah, I did it.
I also want to let you know that I launched another video on my other channel. Hey there, Dave here. So watch that video later, but here's a spoiler. I'm going to donate $1 to Team Seas for every like that video gets in the first 24 hours. So if you don't follow me over there, today's a good time to start. Happy Friday. Happy Team Seas Day.
I'm going to create so many
on
YouTube
that?
accounts that you're going to owe so much money to Team Seas, Dave.
That's
Dude,
fine.
what,
It's
is,
great.
is there a ceiling?
I don't know. I mean, if
good
I
answer.
can't donate more than I actually have.
Dude, I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna watch it and
But you know how it works. Like, unless it like goes viral or something, I could get maybe 10,000 likes on a video. I would do $10,000. You know, that's what I'm expecting.
That's super cool of you, man. And I also think
Do
this is
you want to
super
match
cool.
it? You want to match it here on how many likes we get on this video?
Yeah. Well, are you guys matching it with me? What am I? I just spent a crazy.
I'm
amount
committed
of
to
money.
my other channel.
I just spent a crazy amount of money donating on this Pokemon experiment, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm like cleaned out. No, I am donating a crazy amount of money in the next couple of months anyway. I don't know if I have anything left in the bank after I'm done donating. But I do love what Mr. Beast is doing with this, because a lot of people are skeptical when people do philanthropic stuff on YouTube. Like, is there some ulterior motivation? Everything that I know about him and his team over at Night Media, like, he is legit trying to save the world. That guy is like, he is all in on trying to do something way bigger than himself. He pours so much of his personal money back into the community and back into doing great things for other people. I think his mission in life is like just to open up shelters around the world. Like, I love everything that brand and he is all about. So if we can do something here today, small, to help their cause, there's no way we were going to say no when they reached out to us. So I hope you guys can all donate. I will make a donation myself personally. I hope everybody just can make a small donation, because I was on a cruise ship a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago, in the Caribbean, and this is the first time that I personally came into contact looking out the window. It was kind of terrible because I was getting a massage. I was in like the spa, and I was looking out the window, beautiful Caribbean Sea, and our boat like passed like just garbage, like floating in the sea, like a huge swath of just trash and disgustingness in the middle of the beautiful Caribbean Ocean. And that's when it really hit home for me.
Yeah.
We have a major issue, and you can't close your eyes anymore and say like, oh, it's someplace else. Like, it's right here. And I can't wait to hear what your guys' trade is, because I learned something new today researching this episode about pollution in the ocean that I didn't realize how big of a deal it was. And it works beautifully into one of my existing trades that I'm going in even deeper on now, because now I know that there's yet another benefit.
Really?
So what's your trade? And I'll tell you mine at the end.
Okay, well, you know how I always like to bend the rules when it comes to picking one stock, right?
I knew you were going to do this.
The S&P 500. No, I'm just kidding. That's my forever stock. But I actually did pick an ETF, but it's a brand new one, and it's very cool. So it's called the IQ Clean Oceans ETF. Its ticker is OCEN. It just came out. It is it's actually Girls Who Code. They came out with two different. Girls Who Code is a nonprofit that helps get more girls involved in computer science, which I think is a great cause. They have come out with three specific. Like these targeted ETFs, one for gender equality, one for clean oceans, and one for cleaner transport. And they've partnered on the clean ocean ones. They partnered with this group called Oceana, which is another nonprofit. And they've basically created an index of companies based on like this really cool weighted system of how much money they make from sustainable activities, what percentage of their revenue is from ocean-friendly causes, and then also based on the environmental impact that their company has. So,
Dave,
natural resources, sustainability of products, services.
I looked at that fund, and the first thing that popped in my head is, this is what Dave is going to choose. I knew you were going to choose this fund. I knew it. But
I actually was like, stock when it comes to something like this.
But here's my rub. Here's my rub with the people that run this fund. I don't understand it. I researched the portfolio, and it made absolutely zero sense to me. The stocks in that fund, if I recall, are like Home Depot
and Lowe's are the two biggest holdings, but those are each like 3%, and that's just kind of how it comes down to. They have this weighted formula based on an advocacy group that does nothing but think about the ocean, so I figure they know more about what the ocean needs than I do.
I don't think they do. I don't think they know what they're doing, that advocacy fund, because I spent a couple hours researching the oceans, and I was like, they don't know what the hell they're doing, because my research did not result in the same thesis that they had of choosing those companies. It makes no sense to me. I don't see how those companies are the best for cleaning the ocean. But maybe they know something that I don't. I don't know.
So
I just thought it was weird.
Chris angry.
It is a selection criteria reflecting. It specifically reflects the research campaigns of Oceana Inc., which is a public charity, and it's the revenue amount and percentage, so it moves the bigger companies higher in the list, but also percentage of revenue that is relevant to clean ocean business activities, and also the impact of environmental technologies, their things like management of natural resources, sustainability of their products and services. And It just launched last week, and it is already skyrocketing. Let me just show you this chart.
Is that why Home Depot's been up, Dave?
Maybe. No, I mean, they've only been open for a week, but
they're up 2%.
They're up skyrocketed 2%.
That's a great ticker, though.
Sorry, my dog is freaking out because we had a delivery today, and now she thinks that she needs to be close to me at all times. All right, so that's my pick. Jordan, Chris, what are your picks?
It's so Dave. It's such a Dave pick. It's such I get it. It's such a Dave pick. You got to go with the ETF every single time. You got to go with
because
the ETF.
there's an ETF for everything, and I feel like I'm a pretty intelligent person, but I don't know what the ocean needs. And so it's basically it's an environmentally friendly investment.
You know what? Jordan impressed me so much with his research that I felt like I had to find something better than him. But I want you to hear.
I will tell you what I did do some research though, and I actually, because it's brand new and they don't have any historical performance, I back tested the current basket of stocks, and it's a bunch of stocks, and it actually over the various date ranges that I was able to test, it beat the S&P 500. It did not beat my personal portfolio because I put my portfolio in that engine too, but it beat the S&P 500. In historical weird backtesting that I did.
Oh, by the way, not to get in front of our next episode, but Dave is making a major change to his personal portfolio. So is Jordan, and that is coming up in the episode we're airing directly after this episode, back to back today. It's our Friday happy hour episode on the metaverse, so stay tuned for that one when we're done here.
Happy hour. I already got a drink. Is that bad?
It's not appropriate for this episode, but if you have to have it, go for it.
All right. So who's going first? Is it you or me? Chris?
You. I want to finish. You.
So I want to talk to everybody about clean shipping, right? And so one of the biggest problems that we have right now, it's not necessarily cleaning up plastic out of the oceans, which, by the way, is kind of related to shipping. We can talk about that later. But diesel, and the really dirty, crude diesel that's being pumped out of these big shipping containers right now, big shipping container ships, is like, what, 3 or 4% of global CO2 emissions. There is a push, especially from Japan. So Japan has like a goal within the next decade to replace a good portion of their ocean vessels, especially some of these shipping container ships, to ammonia, specifically green ammonia, which is basically you use electrolyzers to create green hydrogen, and then you combine it with a green nitrogen source, and then you can burn ammonia. The benefit of ammonia is that no CO2. It's got some other downsides to it that you can get into if you straight burn it. If you hook it into some sort of fuel cell, those issues go away. But it's way cleaner than diesel. It's only like 2.5 times heavier, per joule of energy than diesel is, as opposed to batteries and liquid hydrogen, which are way more problematic. A lot of ships actually have abilities to store airtight cold ammonia right now, and so there are companies that are working on this. So you can look at some of the cruise line or some of these shipbuilders. Maybe that's a way to do it. Most of them are Asian or Japanese companies. You can look at some of the big guys like Cummins or Siemens, who are getting into the business by running big electrolyzer installations in Europe. One of the ones that I saw that's actually interesting that might have a big impact on the company, and I haven't made a trade yet, so I'm still trying to research and find out more. There's a company called Air Products, APD. They're like a 60 billion market cap company. They've done a deal with one of the Middle Eastern companies, I forget, maybe UAE or somebody, and basically the idea is that they take solar energy, so you get like a green energy, to then run these electrolyzers, which are very electric intensive, and they can then create that hydrogen and then use another electrical production to create the nitrogen, and then you combine it in a process to make that green ammonia. And so this company, traditionally they've done a bunch of different things, and they're making blue hydrogen right now, which is kind of carbon neutral-esque. But if they could get into the green hydrogen space, then I think they've got, I think it's an opportunity to look at.
Based on your research, Jordan, do you think it's feasible that in the next 5 to 10 years we could have ocean liners, cruise ships, shipping, all the ships that do all the transit?
No, so this is a longer term plan than that. This is probably like a 30-year plan, because you're going to have to create a ton of ammonia to be able to do this. And the current, state of the art for creating ammonia is by using, carbon intensive, ways to create that electrolysis, and it's not very green. So you have to get, you have to ramp up solar, you have to ramp up wind, you have to ramp up some of these renewables to then be able to produce it at scale. And then you also have to replace a bunch of ships and a bunch of engines that are in the ocean right now. And so this is a longer term. It's like a 30 to 50-year time frame on this turnaround.
Similar to retrofitting the way we drive cars, and going from burning gasoline to using batteries.
Yeah, it's just going to take time, and but you have to start, right? And so this is the start.
Well, there's also an ETF for that, because the other one that I mentioned, the Cleaner Transport ETF. All right, Chris, what is your pick?
Okay, so I was like dead set on finding an actual company that was making a meaningful difference when it comes to ocean pollution, right, and cleaning up waterways in the ocean. And I was so upset when I wasn't able to find one. Then I just started doing more broader-based research on ocean pollution, cleaning the oceans, who's doing what, where is the real issue, like what's causing most of the problems, right? Because we all know it's probably not straws, right? We joke about that, like everyone gets on the straw movement, but that really doesn't have that big of an impact. I did a lot of research, and I found this. I'm just going to read it to you because I think it's fascinating. 80% of pollution to the marine environment comes from the land. One of the biggest sources is called NonPoint source pollution, which occurs as a result of runoff. Non-point source pollution includes many small sources like septic tanks, cars, trucks, and boats, plus larger sources like farms, ranches, and forest areas. Millions of motor vehicle engines drop small amounts of oil each day onto roads and parking lots. Much of this too makes its way to the sea. And then it goes on and on to talk about all the different sources of non-point source pollution. But it's fascinating to me that a big part of that pollution impacting the ocean does not originate from oil spills offshore, but it's a result of oil onshore that makes its way from the middle of the country through rivers all the way out into the ocean. I started studying why that happens, and it's all about combustible engines. And the oil in combustible engines gets polluted by that combustible engine, and then the excess of it gets onto streets, runs off. And we're talking about, of course, not millions. We're talking about tens of millions, hundreds of millions of combustible engine cars and boats and all that stuff, right? So what is the best solution to that? Well, EVs, okay, electronic vehicles do not use combustible engines, and while they do actually still require require lubricant, okay, in those vehicles. It does not get polluted by combustible engines, therefore does not leak. The lifetime is way longer. It's a completely different ball game. It is a massive game changer, and it's one that I never really appreciated when I thought about EV, okay, and everything that is EV, from buses to trucks to cars to eventually boats. And I think amongst everything that I read and saw, the absolute most we can do for our oceans right now is eventually switch over to EV. So if there wasn't enough amazing stuff happening to EV this week, and by the way, wow, did you see Lithium America? They're up to $29 again. Thank goodness I didn't sell one single share. Oh, I might have sold some. I had to when I was over levered. But for the most part, I didn't sell. By the way, we're not financial advisors. This is what we're doing, guys. This is our research. So please poke holes in it. Speak to a financial advisor. Make your own decisions, okay? This is not for you to copy, but to research. I'm going in deeper on EVs, even at these kind of slightly elevated levels. In fact, the Biden plan that is, close to getting pushed through, this $1.9 trillion plan that used to be $3.5 trillion. A big part of that is this unbelievably large subsidy for EV that goes out 10 years. So it's like 5 years of where if you're an EV manufacturer and you're making your cars with unionized workers, it could be up to, I think, a $12,000 credit per car. That's insane, tax credit. And then going out 10 years, as long as you're producing US batteries, you're producing the cars here in the US, you can retain that credit beyond year 5. Guys, there are caps on how expensive those cars can be. And the first thing that popped in my head was these are cheaper EVs. I think the cap is like 40 to 60K, right in that range.
It's like $55K for a sedan. It's like 70 grand for a pickup truck though, or an SUV.
Okay, sorry. So I think Jordan, Ford, it might be one of the biggest beneficiaries of this, and I think that also, by the way, Ford owns a pretty large position in Rivian, don't you forget, and Rivian's going public here in the next few days. Rivian is Jordan's favorite EV, always has been. I love Rivian. We sold our company to Dealertrack that was acquired by Cox Automotive. That was one of the initial seed investors in Rivian. So we've been following that company from the very beginning. Really interesting trade. When that goes public, we'll probably do a show on it. But I kind of like the EV stocks and also everything along the EV supply chain. I've been talking about this all year. I got hammered for it when these stocks took a big hit, and now they're finally roaring back. I'm glad I didn't sell. I think EV saves the oceans, guys. More than anything else, EV saves the oceans on land.
I like that. I like that play. I'm not in Ford, but I'm in Tesla, and I'm just watching that to the moon.
Do you know that our buddy Kevin has over 50% of his portfolio still in Tesla? Is that insane? God, he has crushed it. Just crushed it.
That's so good.
Oh, meet Kevin, man. He's. I would never do that personally. There's no chance. No chance. But I will do something.
I have substantial portion. We need to wrap up this show because we're going to do another live show where we can just talk about anything. But I have a real problem with Amazon right now. So if you want to hear about that, stick around.
Well, also, Dave, you're making some big moves. We're going to talk about in a minute on our next show. So watch the Metaverse show. What's the title of it, Dave?
I don't know. It's like, is this the best time in the world? Is this the biggest opportunity ever? Something like that.
It's like
look for the three of us. It looks just like the video you're watching right now. It's a thumbnail with the three of us sitting in the boxes.
It's going to be a good one. We'll see you guys in a minute. Oh, thumbs up, subscribe, notifications, please. And by the way, make a donation. Could you make like a $5 donation or $1 donation to save the seas? And go ahead and tweet Mr. Beast and tell him that Dumb Money did a killer job. Bring some attention to this subject. We'd appreciate that as well. And
apparently all the Mr. Beast traffic is just dominating the internet right now. That's why we have a substantially smaller number of people watching this video than we normally do, just because there's so much competition. I have a substantially smaller number of people who have watched my video. I may get off easy on this, but get over to my channel. Hey there, Dave here. Like the new video, and I'll donate $1 for every single like for the first 24 hours. All right, we're Dumb Money. We will see you right back here on another stream in about 35 seconds.